give you like a little bit insight of like what exactly we see from the industry point of view. And this is a good connect between like, academic world and the industry world, right? See what exactly like, the other side is looking at the, like, the other side of the table. So I believe like, this conversation is going to be really useful, and I'll try my best to make it as interesting as possible. So let's go ahead with this. Okay. So before actually like, going to the mainstream topic of the industry expectations and then like insights into industries, um, having come back to college, meeting my, my friends, and then like I believe like few more guys like who are listening to this, and then like a lot of my classmates earlier have addressed this gathering. So I wanted to like little bit talk about our college days, reminisce a little bit of Sankara days, and our good friend Radharajan has spoken about a little bit on what we did, how we did, and all. I'll take like 2 minutes basically to like, go over this. Like it's a good feeling basically after these many years, like talk about our college, and little bit like little back, like let's take 2 minutes to go back to the life and then like come back again here. Right? So the college campus like today would have changed a lot. Unfortunately, I haven't been to the college after I got out, and bad on me, but life has been like that, right? But now like, earlier like we used to have like, the certain buildings, and the prayer hall is the one thing which comes to my mind when I think about Sankara College. A beginning which like the nice beginning that can be given to the day, and like, the prayer chanting is like one of the good things which I cherish. I miss all of that, honestly. I miss all of that. Nobody does that. Right? So nobody like, takes time to like, do the prayer chanting and whatever, like wherever life has taken us, the higher studies I went and everything, nothing like what we did in Shankara. Right? So that's one of the like, great things which the college management has thought about, like, spending some time in the morning and then like gather everybody, which is a good feeling, and it's a good vibe that's created in the college, which still like, it's like, it's in my head, like, there are like those prayer chants, like, it's still ringing on my head. So it's a good feeling to like when I think back Sankara, wow, that's a good, prayer hall. And classes, I still remember our K.R.V. like he was dealing with English for us, and I still remember it's like, the style with which like he used to like, do some of those classes. And Sanskrit classes, that's one of the classes which I still remember. um, he was Mr. Himanshu Shekharacharya, if I was not wrong. um, so wonderful human being, like very selfless guy, and he used to like, give his heart to all of us, basically like coming to a far land from I think he was from Assam, and coming to far land, and taking all the like, pain in dealing with the alien students like us. It was nice feeling, like, we had like very wonderful time in those classes. And our beloved SPS HOD, wow, what a character he was. Right? So he was more like a military man in our college days, right? So he used to be with like, the kind of a military cut, and like, like, tip top dressing, and he used to like, have a command when he walks in the corridor, and then like, when he walks into the class. We had that kind of like, maybe he had that charm in him to like bring that discipline, and he's like to the task, and he's like no nonsense person actually, like, he's to the task and he knows what need to be done. And he has an aura where like, the way his style, he has his own style, and the aura which we used to like, more like the the comedians used to imitate the famous personalities. We used to actually like, look up on him, and we used to like, try to say like the dialogues or whatever like he used to have, because he had his own style, right? That's a good thing to like again think back again, like, one of those facilities that was created, night lab. Our friend spoke about it. That is definitely one of the like, another thing in our hearts, like when we think back of our college. I think it was more on maybe on the first year itself, I believe, right? Not even in the final year. So think about it. Which college, which faculty members will take the pain and then like, try to go outside of the college hours and then like, create opportunity like this for any of their students? Hardly anybody, right? So people stick to their official office hours, right? So but like, we were like so blessed to have people like this who are selfless, were able to like spend their like, the family times outside of their family, and then like come sit with us and then help us like do what we had to do. Amazing it was. So that is like, again, like I haven't seen anything like that, like, once when I went out of Shankara, and nothing like that actually, like, which was definitely like one of those. And couple more things comes to my mind. Cricket matches. So just out of school, and then like, we were into the college days, and there were like these tournaments conducted. We had a lot of fun where like we get to know a lot of our friends. Once in the cricket ground, the field is level playing, so everybody like it's outside of their whatever their understood intelligence and all that in their academics, but on the playing field, who's the hero? He's the one who has the skill, right? Who can do well in that particular field is the hero. So we had like, amazing experience, like supporting the players, and then like, having a good fun around it. Those are all the experiences that like, we kind of like think back, thinking about Shankara. One another incident comes to my mind, which is like hostel day. Even though like, I was a day scholar, as Rajesh said, like I used to come every day from home. We had like hostel day. K.R.V. sir was the warden then. He used to invite us to hostel day. Like we had like nice lavish dinner was there, and there was like still I remember that it was like amazing food, which was like, very good thing. Moreover, the cycling that we had, right? That's the lifestyle we had, where like, okay, so now, like, I'm from Venkatapur Mall, Sanjay Street, and then like, it's up and down 8 kilometers a day, 4 kilometers up, 4 kilometers down, and invariably like some of my friends used to like, hang on to me in my cycle. And we used to like, once we are getting into that stretch, like, used to get like, Rajesh, somebody will come, and then like, that's a nice feeling in the morning, and then like, that's a good physical exercise that we had those days, like no bikes, no cars, but it's all like, physical activity. I believe like those are all the experiences that is now helping us live like a little more healthier life now. um Maybe it's a byproduct of what we went through. um so cycling, when we talk about cycling, again, the cycling during the night lab, I don't know, Rajesh, if you remember that. So there was a stretch which was pitch dark. After a certain point, it was all like farmlands around, and then like, it was pitch dark, and we had to cycle through that. Some people used to carry torch, and then like, we used to have a lot of fun about like, wow, this is dark, like, some used to scare around people. It was like amazing time. It was like, 25 years, I don't know, like, still like, it's all like present memories with us. Nice. And coming to finally like, what we learned in the college, right? So I definitely need to tell you guys, I'm going to cover more about like, industry expectations, what we expect from the grads coming out of the college as a like, freshers. We studied programming, starting with the language called basics, meaning people won't even know all that now, right? Basic was the programming that we started, and those are the programming skills we started learning. Writing a loop, like conditions, and then like, how do you like construct an algorithm, convert algorithm into a program, all that. So those are the basics that we learned in the college, and believe me, that's what is helping us till now, even now in the industry. That's the basic that you need, and that's what is going to help you go a long way in anywhere you go in the IT industry, being like, technical person. So definitely I can tell you 100% with my full heart, the basics that was laid down in the Shankara College in our BSc days is what is actually driving me still now. And I believe like all my friends will like still like accept this particular fact, saying that like whatever they learned, and that's what like it's actually like helping them as their basic skills into their career now. So with this, like yeah, let me I can go on, right? So Shankara days, we'll keep on going, and then like like friends, like we'll sit and talk for hours and hours together. Let's get on to our the talk today. So one more point I have to talk about is, again, like I did touch upon this um, before the mainstream topic. Let's take a minute to thank the brains behind this particular activity. So K.R.V. sir, Rajesh, and all the faculty members who have thought about this as a thing to do, and then like what they can actually do little extra to the students, right? See, again, I wanted to compare this attitude to the corporate world, and then I'll tell you a story where, right, um, academic world is so beautiful, right? So don't expect this kind of selfless help in the corporate corporate world. Think about it. They are doing a job, and they have certain things to fulfill their tasks, but they have taken effort and pain in like thinking a little more about what else I can do to my students, and what can be little more different from, because there is a set pattern for your curriculum and studies, and then there are exams and their job is done, they can wash their hands off happily. Nobody can um, blame them for you haven't done your job. They are perfectly doing their job. But this particular, the way they have conducted this, and then opened this particular thing for major audiences. I have been hearing that this has been aired to hundreds and hundreds of students and the other members. So it's such an amazing thing, and connecting people across the globe, and thinking about you don't have to really think. Say in the corporate world, I'm telling you nobody is going to think about all this. So they have their own job, and my task is over, my job is over, I'm done. I'm not going to be bothered about why should I do all this. There is always a question of why. But in the academic world, there is no question of why. So because they are they are more of assuming a father figure, if I can say, and thinking about, okay, my students, I want a good career for them, and they are actually building their career, helping them understand the industry, and then go handle them, and give them, take them to the industry and give them to the nation. See, basically this is more like a nation building, and all the effort they are taking need to be completely appreciated, where little effort, all this is going to help you, each and everyone, the students who are listening here, is going to help you long way in your life. And take my word, if you guys come back, speak to anybody like this after 10, 15, 20 years, you are going to quote this experience, definitely, right? So this experience of what this faculty team has created, and then giving you guys the opportunity, this is going to help you a long way in your career. So be attentive, and then see what there are certain sparks that can come, and then you may have certain takeaways, you'll never know, and that's going to help you shape your career. So again, from the on behalf of students and the parents, Rajesh and team, and KRV sir, I'm thanking you. So I'll take the opportunity, and then I'll thank you enough for what you have done, and then how you have created this platform. Thank you very much. Now let's move on to what we have our main topic today. Okay, so to get into that, I wanted to elaborate a little more about my what I have done so far, my position, career, or all that, in the way of introduction, right? So first, as I said, my introduction is going to be a proud student of Sankara. That's my introduction. And as Rajesh said, I lived in Kanchi all through my, from my birth till my college days, till the BSc. I lived in Vaikunthapur Malsana Street. So that's my background, and that is how have like many of you guys who are listening to this, right? I was one of you, right? So I went through the same schooling that you guys did around the Kanchi town, and I came to Sankara College. I did the graduation. I came out, and then I went on to do MCA, and I went on to the industry. That's the path I took. So it can relate. You all can relate, what you guys are going through with what I went through, right? So with that, you can at least connect to what I'm saying, and whatever I am talking about now is completely from my experience, and I am not taking anything from any of the books, authors who have put some quotes, and then some general advices people are giving. This is 100%, I can say, my own experience, and then my own words that I'm going to give you all you guys, right? And with that, because the reason why I'm quoting this is I'm one among you. I have gone through the same journey. Whatever inhibitions, whatever restrictions, limitations you guys think you have today, I had much more than that. And with that, I have found a way to move forward, and then do whatever I have done so far, and then whatever I'm going to do ahead in my life. So that's the best introduction that I wanted to give you, so that like the context, and you may think that this guy is wow, he had a privileged life and he can talk whatever he want now, but then he does not know what I'm suffering. No, not we did equally all the sufferings, all the hardships, and then we are now successful. And you believe that okay, Shankara students going out are very very successful, and you guys are in the right place, and you have latest technology and all facilities and good faculty members, and you can definitely be successful, there is no doubt. Now technically what I have done so far, right? Okay, so my designation is a product architect, but actually I'm more of a um, technology person all through my career. I have mainly my main skill is all into databases, which is all backend solutions into the biggest banks that are there in the world. Okay, coming to our company, we are Broadridge Financial Solutions, which is nothing but producing software that is used by all the international banks, like Bank of America, Barclays, and those kind of big banks in all across the globe. Okay, so the US, UK, Tokyo, wherever, we have multiple branches, and then our products are being used in all over the world. That's the kind of company I work for, and the software that we produce is all for the banking solutions, trading, stock market, if you can, general terms. So whatever that goes behind those processings and all that, hundreds of thousands of solutions and different products, and we do a couple of them. I participated in a couple of them. My company would have done multiple hundreds of products, and then thousands of people are working on different applications, right? So my main skill and my expertise lies in the backend database solutions. And to say over a period of time, I have acquired a lot of these core skills, and I have actually architected and implemented a large distributed database solutions ground up from scratch. I was able to see a product which is from paper built into a software, and then put together, and it is completely put onto the market, and clients are using it. So I have done I have that kind of experience where I know what it takes to build a software and come up with a solution, what challenges we have going through all that. And the large, in the sense distributed database is you have tens of 15s of servers connecting to each other, and then building crunching a lot of numbers across multiple databases. And you guys, I know you guys are learning about relational databases, tables. I have seen the curriculum, and this is all covered in your BCA curriculum. And you guys are creating tables and then storing the data, and the same thing is what we do. It's just that the one I'm dealing with is dealing with the billions and billions of records in a single table. And I'm specialized in building such a solution, and then ensure that it works efficiently and performing faster. So that's one of the what I actually do. Mainly databases, and we call it as data warehouse solution. Basically, it's where there is a large amount of data being dealt with. Then if you want to talk about certain technologies, I have worked on Sybase, I worked on Postgres, MySQL, and there are some distributed databases called Greenplum, and AWS technology is what I currently implement, which is a database called Redshift. Okay, so these are all you actually need it for a large scale database engines. And one more thing I want to tell you is I'm an AWS cloud architect as well. So the current implementation I'm doing is on the AWS, and that is actually now the cloud and cloud related solutions are the cutting trend in the market. And usually financial solutions, banks are the ones who are averse to any risk for any of the data, and they are the ones who will embrace the latest trend in the market. They will be the last person who will embrace it. So because they don't want to take any chances. Now that banks are actually ready, to get onto the cloud, and I am building a wealth management solution for a big client, UBS. So we are building a solution in completely cloud, AWS cloud. Okay. So, and little more because I'm going to talk about certain experiences. So wanted to say I have worked in Hyderabad for major of my time, and I have worked in UK, in London, clients offices, and I have worked in US in different clients offices. There are some of the banks are the Nomura in London, and then UBS and Edward Jones and all those in US. So I have seen different cultures and different kinds of people, and I can say what they expect from us. Again, people coming from India, firstly, and people like us, who came from small town and then went to a software company, and then going to face international people and end clients. So what do they see in us who are coming like this, and then whatever you think the limitations we have. So is it really a problem when you have to go deal with all these things, right? So that's the reason I wanted to give this small introduction, saying I have seen this, I know, and I know what I am now, and I know what my clients think about when they have to work with me, and I can pass on that feedback to you guys, and you can feel a little more confident on what you can achieve if you choose your career well. Okay, so nice. Now let's go to industry expectations. And when you say industry expectation, I'm going to talk from as an employer, what am I saying from who I wanted to employ, right? So what the industry generally sees, and then what we actually think. Okay, if the students coming out, okay, I wanted to introduce a jargon and corporate jargon we call kids. So don't get offended when we say kids. Basically, in the corporate world, the kids term is used for beginners, um, just for the main reason, say that there is no expectations from them, because they are kids, they are just into the industry, and you don't expect wonders from them. So that's the term we use when we say so that's why we don't use the term students. I'm just trying to change my language to address you people, but we say kids. That's why when I say what we expect as an employer from the kids, and then what we think is it is much, it will be better if I have these things in the kids today. So if they are ready for this, and then it's much easier for them to get on, right? So again, some of the insights, what we do in the industry, and finally, why did I choose this topic, right? So I could have done something. I could have done some nice presentation about the technology I'm good at, and I could have easily spoken about the volumes of it, right? And I would have done something very different. But I wanted to actually again, as I said, right? So I have this guilt that I'm not giving back, or I haven't given back to the college. I have this feeling that I need to connect to you, and then talk about something which you can take away, which is you can relate to, and it is relevant to your current age, what exactly you are going through now, and then this, if this actually helps you in one way. My actually goal for today, see, in the corporate world, again, we start something okay, what am I going to achieve at the end of this? So what is our goal, right? So naturally, when I commit to doing this, so I wanted to say what's the goal, for this particular activity that I have committed. The goal for me is, if at the end of the speech, if at least one or two students, kids, are inspired, and you have a better information to choose a better career, and shape your the next steps well, and my time is well spent. So that's the goal. So that's all the expectation I have here, and the topic I chose is particularly for this reason. Say that can I make any difference to at least somebody in this college, right? So, and with that, okay, the famous cliche for any of these speeches is a presentation. right? So what is the deck? What are you going to present? I have a good news and a bad news for you guys. Good news is I don't have anything to present. So you're not going to see any text coming up and then like, a lot of graphics going around and like, which is like head spinning. I don't have anything for you guys. That's a good news. Bad news is um, it's been, I think, like 30 minutes I've been speaking, and you are still going to see my face only till the end of this speech, right? But the point is, because this is all coming from the heart, and then like I wanted to make it look like not a text that is like borrowed from somewhere. Instead, like I want to give you guys a feeling of, this is me, and I'm not just telling you like little piece of my brain. So I believe personally, like this way I connect well, and also like I wanted to feel like this um, auditorium where like people sit, and then like somebody comes onto the podium and speak. Those does not go with the presentations. That's not the way like they speak, right? So I want to get onto that mode of speech, saying that like we are in a virtual auditorium and I'm facing people. But what could have helped is obviously like some people's faces I could see, and then I see the reaction, and then am I boring, am I doing well, should I switch gears? Maybe it would have been. Now I see the nod from Mr. Rajesh, and then like take the cue and then like switch gears, right? So that's what I wanted to do when I like agreed to get on to the speech to Rajesh. And then like he said like, okay, let me, I was thinking about like what's the best way I can do this. I thought, okay, let me not even like limit myself to any presentation, any of the text over there. Instead, I'll go with I have my notes, obviously. I have done a lot of thinking about what I want to do, and I'll go through that. And depending on like where we go, then the time we will be able to like adjust our speech accordingly. Okay. So we spoke about the goal, everything, and now coming to the industry topic where okay, industry expectations. So I did ask few questions to be answered from the students to Mr. Rajesh, and then he kindly did some. And then like I asked about like what the current students think about what is really needed. What is no, it's about two sides. It's I am sitting in the other side. So I'm sitting from the industry point of view, and like the other side is like who are actually ready to get into the industry. So what do they think that is the skill that industry is expecting? Because they don't know until I tell them. Right? They may be thinking that okay, this is what the industry is expecting. Like I'm not good at all these things. Oh no, like I cannot be a great. I'm a person. I won't even enter. I won't even get a job, or somebody will reject me. All those things, and we got some good answers. Like there are like about like 100 people like answered, and then like majority trends are. More like where like you need to be a good programmer, you need to have strong like programming skills and great communication, and that's what I see as the trend, right? So that's what like people feel, right? Oh, okay, like you need to be an excellent orator, and that's when like the industry is going to actually look into you. Oh, this is the guy like I want. Okay, let's break some of the myths, right? That's what I wanted to start with. Let's break those myths, right? um Definitely communication is a key, there is no doubt, okay? But if you are not blessed with that, doesn't mean that like you are not ready for the industry, okay? That's not a thing that the industry sees. Okay, I'll give you some of the examples who I have with me, my team members, and then who have been working. There are like okay, obviously like I that like my job after my college, I moved to Hyderabad straight, right? I've been working with my Telugu friends around, right? We do have some Tamil people over there, but majority is Telugu, and then the recruitment happens in the Telugu, and then like the small towns in Andhra, Telangana, and all that. And I work with most of them, and I have friends with me who started with me, and also like there are juniors who are working with me now who are from Telugu medium, and even today, after like 10 years in the industry, some of them cannot put one single sentence like correctly without any grammatical mistake. Okay, but are we bothered about that? No, that guy is excellent in what he do. He is good at the work that I expect him to do, right? That's what I want from him. I don't want him to be like a big speaker and orator. There are people who can do that. right? So if you think about the industry is taking hundreds of thousands of people, and there may be some thousand people who are good at communication. They will be used for those tasks. There are hundreds of thousands of people who are good at something else, and they'll be taken for only that. So the point is, industry is looking for what something we can take from the resources available, not about finding fault in what you are not good at. Definitely not. Okay, that's the first takeaway I wanted to give you guys. So communication is our good friend Rajarajan actually said that earlier in his speech, saying it is just a medium. You just need to communicate. You need to tell the other party what you are trying to tell them. It's not about whether you did it interestingly, whether you did it without any grammatical error. See, for the matter, grammar is something nobody follows in the world, right? Nobody follows grammar. I don't know how many grammatical mistakes I've been doing when I'm talking with you guys. I'm talking English. That's it. There are words and there are messages that we are passing through. So nobody is really bothered about grammar. Okay. So as long as you can read your English text and you understand what is over there, and then as long as you can write back something and then try to explain what you are trying to communicate, that's sufficient. Okay. Yes. Can you improve on your skills and then is it going to be useful? Definitely useful, because that's going to help you little more of whatever the core skills you have. But core skills is what is going to take you forward, not your just communication skills, right? So that's the first myth I want to break. And um, as I said, right, so living examples, I have my colleagues who are completely not at all good at English, but they were placed in the US. They are working with me in the US, and people are settled in US. Okay, and they deal with social life also. They have to speak English where they go, and then they are sitting onto the clients meeting tables, and they are facing them. It's all about confidence, and not having thinking about what I don't have more than what I have, right? So if you stop thinking in the direction of what I don't have and then start thinking about what I have and what am I good at, then you'll be a little more confident and you can face much more confidently. Maybe while talking about language, I may need to talk about a little inhibitions that is inherently built in our environment, specifically maybe the Tamil speaking world. In India is we were always told that, oh, you don't know Hindi, you cannot do anything more than what you do. You have to find a job only in Chennai. You cannot find a job somewhere else. You can't go to Bangalore. You can't go to Gurgaon. You can't go to Hyderabad. Because you can't survive over there, and you can't speak English, so you cannot go to US. You cannot go to UK. Whatever. See, all are myth. Everything is a myth. Unfortunately, that's the thought that has been seeded onto us. Even 25 years back, I believe it is still continuing, but it's all a myth. See, my example is, again, I got came up like you guys. I was not I can't maybe speak 2 minutes in English continuously when I got out of the college. Then went on to Chennai, studied MCA, and I kind of tried to learn to put words together and try to crack interviews. That's when I actually started trying to put some communication into it. And again, obviously I haven't learned Hindi. I don't know anything about I can't speak much. And when I did have my struggle to find work. I did about 13 interviews before I could crack one. Okay, and that happens to everybody. Okay, so you don't have to be the A's in I go crack the first interview and then I'm the topper in the class. You don't have to really. You don't really have to. What is the end goal? End goal is you need to find a job, right? So you can be 30th in your class, and you can have done 100 interviews. That one interview, you're done. You got a job. That's what is important, right? It's not about how many interviews you took to come. Who's going to be bothered about all that? Once you are into the company, nobody bothers about all this. Nobody bothers about, are you from village, are you from town, are you from city, what kind of big institutes you studied, are you from IIM? Maybe IIM guys are maybe seen separately. I don't want to compare with them, but are you from a big institution, a small institution? Doesn't matter. You have the degree, you have the basic skills, and then you are recruited. And then like your results matter, what you do day to day, and then like how fast or how quick or how quality work you can produce. That's what matters, right? So nobody bothers about all this. And now like in my case, um I had to actually like I got a job, but I got it in Hyderabad. So and like I that's my 14th interview, maybe the 13th interview, and I got a job. And I don't want to just think about, oh, I don't want to go that far, my family is here, my friends are here, all that, right? Because a lot of thoughts will come to you, right? So there are a lot of thoughts that will actually stop you from what you want to do. No, 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 don't do this, you may be having problems there, don't do this. So we need to break that inhibitions and then like move forward in life. That's more important. That's a basic skill that is needed, right? So believe me, um I had to go. I don't know Hyderabad, and I don't know where to go. And unfortunately, I was into a period of recession where, like, usually the companies will give initial accommodation, hotel accommodation, and all that, and then, like, help you move on to a new work. But whenever nothing happened, they said, okay, you come, you have to find your own accommodation and then join the company. Done. So I had to go. I have to go with a suitcase and get down into a city where I don't have anybody, no relatives, no friends, nothing. I have to figure out. That's it, right? So, so yeah, it was amazing, basically, right? All I had is like my elder brother, like who was working at that time with like cancer institute, and he did his like studies like medical physics is these days the degree he did. So the connection I got is he found his junior in college who was working in Hyderabad Cancer Hospital, and he just called him, said, "Okay, see, my brother is coming." My elder brother, like people respect him in the industry, so like definitely, and he was senior to those guys in the college, and they again it is all alumnus, right? So that's how it works, and they respect him. And he said that like my brother is coming and can you help? He said, yeah, why not? Definitely, like ask him to come, like he can stay with me for some time until he finds a place. And all I got is a phone number and an address to go to. That's it. And some route say that okay, take this train, get down in this station, like either about the Nampally station, and then like come out, take auto, tell this guy take me to here, and then he'll come and drop you in this hospital. And I live in the quarters. You come to the reception, I'll call them, ask them to call me. They'll call me, and then like I'll come and help you. Done. And there is no hand holding, nobody actually like from my family or anybody who came to me, accompanied me, and then like dropped me in Hyderabad, oh be safe kid and all that. Nothing. They said like you go find your own way. Right, that's it, right? And then I had that attitude, and then the like the courage to take on anything that comes to us, right? So because these are all something you don't plan in life, things will come, so you need to make your choice. There are like certain choices you need to make. So that's what I did. I didn't think about, oh, how can I like go to some city which I don't know. I have to go. How do I talk to that auto fellow? I don't know Hindi. I don't know Telugu. All that. Whatever we know, we'll manage. Right. The beauty is, if you go to those any city for that matter, and you get down either airport or railway station and all that, you come out. Those guys know that like there are tourists who are coming. Those guys know that like there are people who cannot speak like fluently in their language. That's the beauty that we won't understand when we, because our inhibitions only will be telling us, oh, you can't go. There will be like thieves, there will be cheaters and all that. Like you need to start believing that the world is all of good people. Like there are only few bad people around there. Like we don't have to be bothered about them. So you don't have to be scared about all that, right? So I had to like put some few Hindi words I know, like put together, tell that guy like bhaiya this that, and mix whatever you have, right? Like put some English words, put some Hindi words, whatever tell him, and he's saying, oh yeah, I know, let's go. And he took me there, and then like beauty was, I went to the place, and then like I found the guy who I got introduced first time. Then I said like, hey, I am like brother of Bhargavan. I came here, I'm Bharat. And he said like yeah, then when we started understanding each other, he happened to be a Sankara alumnus. So he was one of our juniors in Sankara. He was a hosteler. So then like the world is so small. So he actually finally what happened was like he's a Sankara guy, like who helped me. And then like I got into Hyderabad. Um, and he was a hostler in Shankara College. So, okay, coming back to this is a story, but what I was, the main point I was trying to drive is Lot of inhibitions that will stop you from taking the next step. Please don't allow that. It is a practice that you need to bring into your brain. Train your brain saying that, okay, should I do this, should I not do this, no, I don't want to try this and all that. Just break those shackles and then break those myths and go forward, right? So we started talking about the myth. Communication was the myth. This, I wanted to connect this story with the communication. So the same thing is what is going to stop you. So had I not, I could have made a choice that no, I cannot go. I could have said that no, I will find another job, I will keep continuing no, with interviews. I could have done that. Maybe I would have landed somewhere else, right? So but then you need to take your step. When the opportunity knocks your door, think hard and then say, oh yeah, let's go try it and do it. Okay, so that's one of the myths. Next is what this is the English, and then next is the programming, right? That's what everybody said. Okay, the biggest programmers, greatest programmers are who are very good at programming. Those are the guys who are going to get a job. Okay, I'll tell you what exactly we do in our interviews. Okay, even today, I ask people to write a factorial program, Fibonacci series. Okay, so that is what you learn in your school, in your college, and everywhere. See, point is, industry does not expect an expert coming out of college. That's the first point. Just understand that. As you said, we treat all as kids. Kids are like coming out with the naive skills, and industry will train them. Okay, but what we are seeing is, are you trainable? That's what is the point. Do you have the skills, basic skills and attitude where you can get trained, and are you going to be useful? As simple as that, right? Not going to ask you to show me, develop a website and then all that, nothing. And show that what is your greatest achievement in your in the programming, and have you cracked certification or some other competitions and all that. No, think about it. Maybe those are all very handful of people, right? Think about how many lakhs and lakhs of people are being recruited. Okay, so we definitely are not looking at the greatest programming skills, but basics of programming skills. That too, again, another myth is IT industry is not only full of programmers. Okay, not everything is programming in IT industry, right? There are a lot of work. See, that's why it is called an industry, right? It's not just few people sitting and writing some software and then everything is working beautifully. Okay, so a lot of roles. There are a lot of roles that are available, and a lot of things can be done. Very major ones I can quote is there is a QA role, and the QA people don't program, right? And they test what you programmed. That's their role, right? They have to validate and then ensure that what you have done is correct. Okay, obviously programmers are there, and then you have something operations job. Okay, so that is again there are skillful operations jobs that are there, not your telephonic voice call centers and all that. That is again that's a skill that is needed. Okay, so everything is needed in the market. Okay, and but we have more the back office operations who support these banks applications, whatever the if I am a developer, I am architect, I built a solution, I have given it to market, clients are using it. While these are all running, and there are support teams who are sitting around it, they need to support those which is already live in the market, right? So there is a big support team, and they are not programmers. They are not going to program every day. They are not going to write thousands and thousands of lines of code, right? And they need certain skills, right? I'll tell you what exactly is needed. This is a common, again, when it comes to recruiting freshers, the freshers are not recruited thinking about one particular role in mind, right? There are some basic skills that will be taken from freshers, and then industry will train them wherever they will fit. That's it. That's what happens. That's why you guys would have known the big companies like TCS and Infosys, Satyam and all. They used to have completely first 3 months, 6 months training. As soon as the beginners are joined, they don't actually develop anything. They'll be put on to training, and then they'll go through all those processes, and then whatever they need to do. From there they will assess people, and then take them into different roles. And most of the companies maybe mine is not a very big company, but what we do is we recruit, and there are certain positions to fill, we'll fill, and then they will start working on it. After some time, if they are not good at certain things, and then we'll switch them into some other role. That's it. So, but from your point of view, it's a job. All you need is a job. So you need to get into the company, and then you need to take, as I said, there are certain decisions to be made at certain points in time. When a time comes when you need to make a decision, and then go forward, you go forward. At that time, you need to make the right decisions. But company as such, from freshers' point of view, they just look at certain basic skills, and if you can program and you can put certain things in mind, obviously you will be used as a programmer, right? Because your skills are better in programming, so you'll be given more programming work. And if other skills are different, and they'll be given on different kind of roles. That's what basically. But to prepare yourself, yes, obviously, if you can go a little extra, give more than what we actually expect, then obviously you are going to be taken, and you are going to much ahead of others in the pack, right? So you have to tune your thing, saying that okay, what I can do. If say somebody is learning Java now, let's say, right? And you have certain basics of Java or Python or C++, whatever you guys are learning, right? So think about how I can impress um, a person in the interview panel, right? You go generally and then they ask some question and you try to answer. That's the common way, right? See, if you are a little more intelligent, and then you have certain more better skills, then you can think of actually building something, and then if you can showcase that quickly, saying that, sir, I have something which I have done in my college, and then I have thought about it, and I can demonstrate that to you. Fantastic, right? I'm telling you, nobody does that. Nobody does it. Nothing. If you think about another thing is you don't have to do everything which is actually useful. In the sense oh, somebody is going to use this. Just think about I built something which is completely not useful for anybody, but you have shown your programming skills over there. That's it, right? So think about it, right? So there are certain things you can actually you have enough time, you have enough facilities, and today world is wide open. You have internet, you have a lot of things, and if you can form a like-minded people, sit together, and then envisage an idea and come up with something, small, big, whatever it is, and then say that I did this. I'm telling you, you are definitely top among hundreds of thousands of people in the market. Because the problem we face today is, from industry point of view, okay, not many are employable, correct? So you guys think that, oh, I'm not getting a job. The other side of the coin is, a lot of people coming out of the college, they are not employable. So that's the gap that you need to bridge, right? So people generally, what happens, they pass time, um, get done with the engineering degree, whatever, and finally, before trying to apply for jobs, they go to game. Believe me, right? It's all very very different experience that I have been going through. Computer science engineering, what do you learn? That is your main course. It's not like electronics, electricals, or whatever. Computer science engineering, you are supposed to have learned few basic programming skills in your 4 years of engineering, right? But they come out and then go to a training institute to learn a Java programming. And then, because they are not confident of attending interviews with what they have gone through in the college, right? So this is insane, right? You have spent 4 years doing computer science engineering, so you should be just like that, do any small programming, right? People are not confident, and they have to pay extra money, go to some training institute, learn programming again, and with that skill only, they are able to come sit in front of the companies interview panels, and then try to put something together. That's the kind of people we are facing. Okay, so Point is, expectation is very, very low. So Rajesh started with his speech in saying that, like, I know industry is expecting high, and then we are trying to do our best. Rajesh, expectation is very low, Rajesh. Right? So all we need is little more sincere students who learn the basics that are being taught in the college, and then go out confidently exhibiting those skills. Nothing more. You need more confidence and little more sincerity towards what you do, and that is sufficient for you guys to, like, explore the world. Okay, so I know, like, I've been talking a lot and then, like, taking more time. Let me see. uh, right, so examples I gave, like, from our college, my classmates who were from completely Tamil medium, settled in US, doing great. So communication was not a big problem for them, and they are good at what they are doing, and then that's how they have been used. And think about, like, okay, what college? Jesus, like, am I going to be recognized only when I study in a big colleges? See, again, like, we have examples who did soon after our BSc, they did correspondence MCA, not even an in-person college, and they can still find a job and they are all good in the life. Okay, so you don't need big money, you don't need to, like, pay big tuition fees to any big colleges to be, like, to train yourself to get into work. No, not necessary, not at all necessary. Okay, so these are all, like, real life examples, and there are people like who I lived with, and people are working with me, and we have been seeing all those people who are doing well in the industry. Point is what, it's all about, like, how much you are willing to take the initial struggle to get into the market. Not the market, actually, get into the industry, right? That is what is going to define you. So as I said, like, again, what is the industry expectation? I said basics of programming skills, and then, like, communication if you have better, otherwise it is not a stopping point for you. It's all about, like, you may need to train little more about, like, how do you do that, like 10-20 minutes of an interview, so that, like, you can impress. That's it. And impress on, not on your communication but on your, like, core skills. To say you impress on the panel saying that, okay, see, I can do these things, and he sees that, okay, this guy is not able to explain well, but I think, like, this guy is skilled, so we'll take it. That's what we will do, right? And other thing is about, like, basic, another basic skill, again, more than programming, more than communication, is something called analytical skills. I want to talk a little more about that, like, 5 minutes. Okay, so this is a general jargon that everybody uses. What is analytical skills, right? So what do we see as analytical skills? Analytical skills is nothing but, like, your ability to analyze a problem, right? Any situation, and ability to think about, like, what you can do next. That's what we do in the industry always, right? If you see, forget about building a new software, writing a big program, and all that. If, say, something is already up and running, it stops running now, it's failed. What do you do? Correct? That is what is the basic skill we need. So how capable are you in assessing the situation, and then, like, take the next course of action, and then the next course of action, how closer it is to get you to the solution, to solve that problem, right? So if you start completely in the opposite direction, you are going to go round and round, and then you are not going to solve that problem. That's what is analytical skills. Okay, and those are all the basics you learn in your college. That's what is going to actually help you in the industry, wherever, whatever you do. Even if you are a CEO, he needs to do the same work. His problems are going to be different than our problems. That's the only thing. So it's all about problem solving skills is what you need, right? So let me put it in a very, very, very simple life terms, right? It's not like, great jargon or anything like that you learn in your big schools. It's there in our everyday life, right? See, you are facing something in, like, you are traveling to some point. Let's say, like, there is a roadblock. That's a problem. What do you do at that point? What do you think? Are you thinking about alternative way to go where you want to go, or are you deciding that, okay, now this is not the right time to go, let me go back to home, I'll try later? See, there is nothing right wrong in it, right? There are multiple ways to deal with it, and how many different ways you can think of quickly is your skill, right? If you are kind of dumbstruck and then like you are crying saying that, oh, I don't know what I should do, then you are not ready. That's what it is, right? In the industry, there are always going to be problems, and there are going to be like we need people who can like check that and then like check what to do next. And if somebody who is stuck and then not able to move forward, he is not needed. We need only those people who can come up with, okay, I can try this, I can try this, I can try this, I can try this, and see like what happens. So give reasoning for like why you want to try that option, and say that, okay, if I do this, then I will be able to solve this problem. Or if I do this, I'll be able to solve this problem. Or say that like what, okay, why we should not take these options. If you do this, why you will not solve this problem. That's what you need. So that's the almost like 95% of the IT industry. And the problem statements are going to be different. That's it. Can take like simple program. You guys go through all that, right? So you write a program, you compile it, it fails. What do you do next? You go debug it. That's a skill you need, right? How good are you in debugging your own program, and how fast you can solve it, right? And can you come up with the algorithm of like my, this is what I want to achieve, then these are all the steps I need to take. Okay, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, done, right? So the main takeaway is what industry needs is problem solving skills. This, the communication and all that is a coating around it, right? So are you able to explain your problem well? That's communication. Are you able to explain your approaches well on why you want to take certain approach? That is a communication. Communication is not everything, right? See, you need to have your problem solving skill first, then only you can communicate. If you don't even come up with alternatives, you are stuck basically. Like those are all the guys who cannot survive, and then those are the guys who are not going to be like in the industry. Okay, so, and as I said, right, it is a basic skill that will come in every walk of life. It's all about you need to put things together and then like come up with what you need to do next. So some of let me quickly run through. Okay, I spoke about the roles, and then like industry expectation for me, like these are the major points, right? So analytical skills, like hone your problem solving skills, and which is nothing but what you do in your daily life, and whatever it is, like debugging or anything. You think about like okay, are you able to think fast, think about the alternates. See, anything I believe like the mathematics or whatever we study, finally it is helping us doing this. It is helping us in like coming up with some problem solving skills. That's what. So something you learn somewhere and then it will come handy in what you do today. That's what it is, right? So, and um, okay, another myth is, in the interview, do you need to sit and write a big program and show that like you are good at programming? Not really. Okay, so we don't have time for you to write a program firstly, right? So to test you, basically, we don't have time that like you give me one big program and then like is your syntax right, all that. No. Okay, it's all about the, are you able to put logic together? See, where you need to loop, are you able to loop? Where you need to put a condition, are you able to condition? Right? Are you able to understand your like the local variable, global variable, all that you guys study today, right? Are you able to understand those concepts and put together some pseudo code? What we call as pseudo code is you can put steps in plain English. That is sufficient. Okay, and you don't. Okay, are we going to check your syntax skills and all that? No, right? See, in today's world, nobody remembers syntax. It's all there in Google, right? See, you need to have the algorithm in your brain. Then you can go copy the syntax from anywhere. Okay, you need to have the algorithm in your brain, and then you should be able to like put those steps together, saying that okay, for this particular problem, this is what I would do, and then I will translate it into a programming language. It could be Python, it could be Java, it could be C++, whatever it is, but the solution stays the same, right? So that is what you guys need to learn first. Don't again, another main thing I want to tell you guys is, don't go behind technologies, latest technology. Don't go behind that. That's one of the, because before I could close this, I wanted to tell you that actually. So there is a big market outside which runs training institutes. Okay, their intention is to sell the courses to the students. Okay, and they'll always keep coming up with some technology which is better than the previous technology, or like they'll say this is what the industry is looking for, cutting edge, all that. Okay, so don't again feel inhibited about, oh, haven't learned these things, then I have no place in industry. No, a big myth, right? So in our college, you will remember, in our college days, Java was the hot cake in the market. Everywhere, like Java posters and everything, and people like, oh, Java is the next big thing. Obviously, it was a big thing. Okay, if you have learned it, better. But I never learned Java. Even today, I never learned Java. Okay, but I have my own skills, and I have my own technology to deal with. Okay, but does it mean I it is a big no problem to start writing any Java code? No, if I need, I will write, right? So main thing is, don't go behind these latest technologies being advertised in market. Okay, if you can learn few things, fine. But again, the biggest problem is this data science, right? People are selling that course like anything. And that too, for beginners, forget about it. You are not even expected to know anything about like machine learning or nothing. As I said, you will be trained in all of that. So don't be bothered about all those like latest jargons and all that. But are you aware of some of the happenings in the industry? That is current affairs. That's it. Be aware, right? So know what is happening, what is coming up. But what is your skill? Stick to your skill, right? I have seen the curriculum. Like you have Python, you have Java, you have C++, you have SQL, everything, almost everything that is needed in the industry, right? And can one be good at all this, or are we expecting that one has to have best SQL skill, best Python skill, best Java skill? No, even a most experienced person, you won't find anybody like that. Okay, so again, don't get overwhelmed with all these technologies that are coming up, and don't think that, oh, I need to know everything. No, pick one which naturally comes to you. It could be even C programming. C programming, for that matter, is a rare skill in the market today. None of the kids who are coming out is even know C program. Okay, if somebody knows C program, and then they will be happy. Fine, like how Vijayanand spoke about the COBOL skills, right? Nobody is learning COBOL these days, but still there are applications which are still running in COBOL, and we still need people like who can go support it, right? So everything is still there. But again, coming back to you people, okay, you are in this age and you are looking at what the technologies the industry is looking for, and you have certain curriculum carefully designed, which is actually, like, believe me, it is a good curriculum, and you have everything, all ingredients that are needed for getting a good IT job. And again, like, don't get overwhelmed with learning everything. Not each and every programming language you can ace, right? So certain things you have to obviously, you need to go through it, you need to understand, you need to pass, but you may not be an expert in it. But pick one programming language which is interest you, which naturally comes to you, and you can think naturally in that programming constructs and structures, and train yourself more on it. As I said, start practicing. Programming is a practice. Just by reading something, you will never get programming. Programming is a practice. Start practicing it, and then put something, write something, and if you can, and if you have good brains around you, you can build something on your own. Be it some graphic, be it some game, be it something some interface, or be it more like just a input output type thing where you can present something well. create something on your own and go boldly exhibit that. Don't worry about, oh, I am going to this guy with a very very simple thing, and then he's going to even not even pay attention to it. So be it. What's your problem? If he's not paying attention, forget it. But at least you tried, right? You went with the plan, you have your skills that you exhibited and you tried, and then you went with it. That is the kind of attitude we need. Okay, next, basically, before maybe I will go on and on. I have to get out of my work also. So maybe Rajesh, I'll do my closing points in
Yes.
10 minutes,
Yes.
right? Okay, so there are a lot more points I have, but I kind of went with the flow. um so we spoke more about technology, and I hope you guys got the gist about what is really expected and what you need to focus on. And those are all something which is already in your hands. You don't need to go anywhere outside of even Shankara. You can acquire all those skills, and you'll still be confident in facing the market. So if you are in the BCA BSc, try to get a degree with the master skills, and correspondence is good enough, as I said. And if you can go into a in-person college, get it, then you'll be more than equal in with anybody in the market, and you will be obviously taken. There is nothing that because you are coming from Kanchi, and then because you are coming from Shankara, you are not going to, nothing like that. So we are all from that, and then we have done all this with whatever the 20-25 years back opportunities and the technologies we had. And today the world is wide open, opportunities are more, and you guys can do much better. Okay, and summary is analytical skills is the main thing. Focus on it. And then programming skills, if you can, just practice, pick one programming language, and then do. See, there's nothing like, okay, Python is what people are looking for, Java, everything is there. As I said, even COBOL is there, everything is there. Okay, the industry, again, as I said, banking industry is something which won't change their applications often, and it is not easy. Basically, again, just to from industry insight point of view, it is not easy to change something which is already up and running, and there are clients who are using it. It is not easy. Again, to mature this application, to come to a stage, we would have already spent years and years. So you guys may be thinking that, oh, okay, somebody sits and write a program and then it is done. No, no, that's what I'm saying. Again, Prasad was talking about there is a big team who will be working on building a software. Exactly, right? um at least 40-50 people for a big applications will be we what we do is we break this into smaller pieces, and then we start building incrementally. That's what we do. And that's, I think you guys would have learned it in your software engineering classes, incremental model of building, prototyping and all that. That's what in this most of the industry practices. So you need to build a core thing, and then start evolving this. And then when it is ready, then you can push it to a phase one into the market, and then build the phase two. So any problem, any big things that are there in the in the industry can be built only that way. So small piece at a time. So when you think about in the college, in your classes, what do you do? You are the one person company who builds everything together end to end, and then you try to demonstrate, right? But industry does not work like that. So there are a lot of people who does their pieces, and then everything gets integrated, and then that's when application comes up. So so you basically you're not going to be in charge of everything, and there are going to be a lot of people. So main skills that you need is, again, as I said, problem solving, and you are able to work with your team. Not what you think is may not be the final. You need to work with your team, understand what is your part, what is the other's part, and then don't overlap with each other, and do your work, ensure that the final product is delivered. Okay? So that's the thing. And um, okay, so again, more relevant, maybe I'll cut down on a few of the points I have, but more relevant to you guys is facing the interview, right? Okay, I spoke about what you equip yourself, train yourself, and all that technically and everything. But once you go sit out to the interview panel, interview chair, and there are certain soft skills that are needed. Okay, be it communication, or be it attitude, personality, whatever we call it, right? So that is something which you need to train yourself. Then you will do much better. instead of going and exploring. See, what happens is I never had any such training. We didn't even, because we were so focused on technical skills, and then like practicing more. But when I go sit onto the interview panel, and there are certain things which I, even though like I have enough skills, and unfortunately, like in my case, maybe you guys can connect with me. I was technically good always, and I always cleared all my technical examinations and then like interviews. But there is something more than technical that they speak to, like they call it a HR, which even today, like I don't understand what does what does it mean, right? The HR interviews are the ones which is very very difficult to crack, particularly if you are a technical person, right? So those I learned hard way through my experience attending multiple interviews, and then like I figured out, okay, this is what I should say sometimes, this is what I should not say sometimes, right? So that is something maybe like Rajesh, you can think about facilitating some soft skills training, which will definitely help the kids going out. So basically, so how do you now, some skills that I can think of, like my from my own experience: present yourself well, be natural, don't try to fake anything, say what you can naturally say, don't be negative in anything, right? So don't be negative at all. And so you need to say that, okay, whatever, when certain things we say, like is it possible, you should always, like this is actually a necessary skill in your career wherever you are also. You need to always start thinking about positively about, okay, how I can achieve this. In our offices, even we in my office meetings, I tell people saying that don't start negative. When we say like, oh, there is a problem, how what we do, oh, that is very difficult, we cannot solve this. They're like, there is nothing like we cannot solve in the world, right? Problem is, what you tell your brain is what you are going to be finally, right? So we always, if we keep, even today, like we keep training our colleagues saying that, like don't start negative. Start thinking about, oh, is it a problem? Fine, let's first understand what is the problem and see what we can do about it. Finally, it may not be solvable, that is finally, right? But when you start, we always start thinking that yes, we will solve this. There are always problems in the world, as you said, there are going to be some solutions, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is, but there is going to be some solution. There is nothing like you cannot solve. So that, if you can build that attitude right from your college days now, you will obviously be like a very good positive person, and people will like you. So I'm telling you, 100%, we nobody likes somebody who starts negative. That's a fact. Nobody likes to work with anybody who says that, oh, this is very difficult, or this cannot be done, I cannot do this now, it can start only after next month. All that, nobody is going to like all that, right? We should always go with approach saying that, oh yeah, like okay, fine, like understand what you're saying, like let me spend some more time, understand what is the problem, and then come back with approaches. We'll see what are all the like options we have to achieve this, and then we'll say, okay, we'll put option 1, option 2, option 3. Always, this is how industry works. Anything we take, we will have to have options. What is option 1, what is option 2, what is option 3? Do a cost benefit analysis, which is feasible, which is not feasible, and the final option is like not doable, possible, right? So again, a piece of advice for you guys is, this is another insight how the industry operates, and you guys like inculcate that habit, and then like start being positive, and that will show up in your interview definitely. If you do that, you don't have to do anything different. You be natural. If you have always been positive, it will show very clearly. Okay, that's one of the soft skill I wanted to talk about. Another thing is very very interesting point. This is okay. When we go to the interview, when they say like talk about yourself, what do you think about this, what do you think about that, and all, it's always okay, you want to be natural, you want to speak about like what your ideologies are, philosophies are, thinking, and all that, your political affiliations, blah blah blah, all that, okay? Yes, it's a general talk. They wanted to understand like what your thinking processes. That's it. But unfortunately, what happens is, sometimes I have faced it myself, um, the other person may be egoistic sometimes, okay? And if we take one side, you say like like I'm a leftist, I'm a rightist, and then like these are all the things that are great with this government and all that. That guy may not like it, right? So your intention in the interview is to find a job, not about like to seed your you know political affiliations or thoughts or whatever. So try to be neutral as much as possible. Okay, don't create these opportunities where like he may feel that, oh, this guy is of a bad attitude, he's this, he's that. Unfortunately, it happens. All you get is like 20-30 minutes of your time. That's all you get. That's the opportunity you get. Okay, so I have my personal experience with that. Because of that, I lost job. Because like I speak a lot, and then I say something without realizing that like that may have not been like been received well. Maybe your intention was good, but it's always happens in the world, right? So your intention is good, but then it may not be received well with the other person. Okay, so try to be neutral and always go with the thinking. This is one of the maybe a smart thinking about going to interview. Think about what the employer wants you to tell him, not what you want to tell him, right? So it's a smart thinking basically, because your intention is to find a job, not about winning him in the argument, right? And you don't have to be like wow, this is what I am and all that. The employer wants you to tell him something. You need to gauge that. He says that, oh, okay, this guy is like this. Okay, you have to like follow the path, right? So one simple example, I faced this question myself when he said like what if I don't give you this job? It's a HR question. Okay, what if you fail this interview and you don't get this job? There are several ways to answer this. There is nothing right wrong, right? And I went ahead and then answered saying that, because I wanted to say that like my I have a strong mind, and then like say that, yeah, this is not the end of the world, like I'll have to go keep trying and then like find another job. That's what I said. Okay, he didn't like it, right? So even today, like I've been thinking about like what could have been a better answer for these kind of questions, right? So maybe what we can is that point, what is his intention for asking that question, what answer he is expecting, right? So let's say this is a TCS where this is an interview, and then he says that like I what if I don't give you this job, right? We can, maybe we should say more nicer words like, oh, I'm going to be, I feel bad that like I lost an opportunity to work for a great company like TCS. I like I'm going to be devastated, but I will gather myself again, and then I'll try better, and then I'll equip myself well, I'll train myself, and then again I come back to it. Maybe people will like it, right? So but point is, I spoke what my character is and my what my name is, because that's what I wanted to tell myself, saying that okay, this is not the end of the world, keep moving, the world is wide open. This company, if not this company, there's another company. But that's not what you should say sometimes, right? So that is all soft skills, right? Again, like when you want to go to um, interview, we need to think about like what is needed to actually like crack this particular thing. And maybe sometimes you need to be trained to say what exactly you need to say, so what he wants you to say, right? That's the first thing. And then maybe in 1 minute I need to stop. One more last piece of advice I'll give you. Some of the questions, again, like it is going to test your analytical skills in this kind of like HR type interviews. They are going to just throw some random questions to you, which has no meaning and no right wrong answers, right? So something like, um, why a Olympic swimming pool is rectangle in shape? Why can't it be circular? Or why can't it be oval? There are no right wrong answers. There are no textbook answers for all these things, right? What they assess is, when these kind of some questions which you don't expect, you're not prepared for in an interview comes to you, how do you react? Again, this is going back to my problem solving skills. This is a problem statement. Why it should be rectangle? You can say anything you want to say that like why you think that is a answer, right? You should be able to like say, I can think of, oh, okay, if it is circular, then how do you do a race? So they need to have like equal length for each of the swimmers. Then that's one of the reasons. But is it the right reason? I don't know. right? Right? So that's one of these kind of things. Like my college, my company, when I was an interview panel, my HR, we were asking something like this. Um, how can you bring a Eiffel Tower from Paris to India? This is a question. So do you think about what is this question? Is there any meaning in it? No. This will be the question, and you will be having a split second to react to it, right? But later, when I was asking my like HR, why are you asking these kind of questions? He says like just that like we wanted to throw these kind of questions and see like how they react. There is no right wrong answer, right? So you can say that okay, I will like break it and then like carry it. I will like put it in a ship and then do. Okay, that is one way to do, right? So or like you why do I need to bring it from there? Like I will build my own Eiffel Tower. Maybe that's not what he asked for, but you can think about it. You do all that, right? So I think yeah, these are some of these things. I just like I thought like with whatever time given to me, I spoke about what certain things are, and maybe like there are a few more points which I cannot cover today. But with this, let me stop. Thanks again for the opportunity. I believe like I made few people's time useful and interesting, and there are like some takeaways for the students who are like looking into this, and some of the parents who may be watching, and they know like what from industry point of view what we are expecting, and be confident about what you guys are learning now, and this is more than enough, and just train yourself well and then get good at what you are doing. Thank you very much for the question.
Thank you so much, Bharat, for giving a wonderful and you are keep on saying from industry, but it's like all those words are very honest. To be frank, it's like you are very neutral today. You never behave like a person from industry as a corporate world. Normally, the corporate people never share their secrets, but you have almost open up all these things. I think it's more of I look at this last 1.5 hour talk of yours. It's like very free flowing. At the same time, it's been a wonderful confidence booster for each and every listener who has been tuned into this webinar. I can say there are a lot of books or a lot of gurus, management gurus, who can talk about the skill sets which needs to be acquired, and these are all the things. But the fear of failure is the first thing which actually occupying the mind of the students. But you have straight away dumped all those